Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/relationship advice, where today OP's mom steals $5,000 from her and thinks she is entitled to that because she raised OP. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, "My mom stole $5,000 from me, claiming I owe it to her. She is 50 years old and I am 17 female. She lost her job in March of this year and was behind on rent and bills. So without asking me or telling me, she just emptied my bank account. I'm a minor in the US. When I confronted her, she told me I owed it to her for her struggles raising me as a single parent. The thing is, I am headed to college in a month and that money was my living expense for the entire year. It was money I had earned through competitions and awards. Not to mention, she is not contributing a penny towards my education, and after paying for tuition, I now no longer have any way to support myself without a loan. Not to mention, I already contributed around $2,500 in rent over the past few months since she was laid off, and she has around $45,000 in her own savings account. She had no reason to withdraw from mine. Of course, she is not paying me back. Never does, even though she claims she will. No one seems to be taking me seriously. I called family, the police station, etc., and everyone is just dismissing me for being overdramatic. I feel so hurt and betrayed by her actions. She has a history of being very verbally and physically abusive, but this is just unfathomable. I cannot rationalize how my own mother could steal from me. How do I deal with these emotions? I am so lost and I cannot think. I also cannot set up my own account until I am 18, so even if I do earn any money, I know exactly where it is going to go for the fall and most of the spring semester." And a user in the comments said, "I would recommend talking to your local bank manager as well. I opened my first checking account when I was 16 without a cosigner/adult because my mom was similar through US Bank. I had money put into a savings account growing up and never actually saw it. When I got my first job, I refused to use that same saving account. I didn't trust my mom with having access to it. I think they can approve it at their own discretion." And a user in the comments said, "Just wanted to say it is not okay for her to claim your money as payment for her taking care of you when you were a child. That is very immature and manipulative. Not sure what you can do about the money lost, but I would definitely try to set up an account that she does not have access to." And another user said, "I cannot imagine how angry or how sad you are, but once you become an adult, I think you should leave that household as fast as you possibly can, but a solution now is that you apply for a loan, which is one of the little options that you have right now, but I would get a job ASAP. And I would steal that money back some way, somehow. I cannot say it will get better, but I am praying and hoping that it will. Hope this helped at least a little bit." And yeah guys, I would love to hear what you think about this story. In my opinion, that is really inexcusable from the mother. And I think a parent should never steal from their own child. That just does not make sense whatsoever. Let me know what you think about this story in the comments, and while you're at it, I would really appreciate it if you could also post some star emojis in the comments if you want to support my channel. Thank you so much in advance. And the next one is an update to the story of the mother stealing $6,000 from the kid. First of all, I would like to say thank you to everyone who took the time to read my post and give me advice. There were too many comments to respond to, but I did read everyone and my heart goes out to those who shared similar stories. A lot has happened in the past few days. The day after I posted, my mom broke the lock on my bedroom door and accused me of planning to assault and murder her in conjunction with my professor. Which is not only false, but so laughably outlandish that I finally called my university, as many here suggested. Their police department got me out the same day and put me in a temporary shelter for 2 days before moving me temporarily to university dorms. My mom did put up a fight while I was leaving and accused me of being a lady of the night. She claimed evidence of my illegal activities could be found on my computer, iPad and phone, all currently in police custody. I did give the police permission to look through my devices and even gave them my passwords to everything, but the relentless daily interrogations have really worn me down. Thankfully, my university gave me a loaner laptop, so I am able to resume classes. I also found out that I won a scholarship I had applied for a while back and will be receiving a check worth 10k in the next week. Until I find permanent housing, I plan to put a hold on my mail so my mom can get her hands on that money. Thank you so much to everyone who so graciously offered to donate, but it looks like I will now be able to afford all of my tuition with a little left over. Of course, I still miss my mom, and it takes everything in me not to respond to the emails she sends me asking if I am safe and telling me she loves me. I am trying to stay strong through it all, but I know deep down I did the right thing. There is still a lot that I have to figure out, like opening my bank account with no access to any official documents or a phone, but I am hoping to iron out those kinks within the next month or so. And yeah guys, I gotta say, considering that the OP is just 17 years old, she seems really mature, and it is honestly impressive how she handled this situation. I don't think I, at 17 years old, would have been nearly as mature enough to handle the situation the same way she did. And the next one is titled, "My stepsister is telling my whole family my boyfriend got her pregnant to make herself feel better." Sorry, weird title. So I met my 25 female boyfriend Tim, 26 male, 3.5 years ago. We hit it off, he was great and sweet and we get along perfectly. Until I introduced him to my family. My mother had gotten remarried a few months earlier, I like my stepdad and we get along fine, my stepsister Sarah, who is 26 female, and we're friendly but not besties by any means. She is kind of an intense party girl, and being in our 20s we only saw each other at family events. So I introduced Tim to my family, at which point we learned that Sarah used to date Tim when they were 20. It was only a few months and Tim said they broke up because she made out with another guy at a nightclub while drunk. Sarah got upset and started saying I had to break up with him because it was weird. She called Tim her sloppy seconds and tried to get our parents to force us to break up. I said no, it had been years since they'd been together and I didn't even know Sarah when she was dating Tim. I got pretty upset because my family jumped on the bandwagon of saying we should break up. For the past few years at any family gathering, Sarah would mention how they used to date and act like I stole her boyfriend, and has been selling that narrative to my family and friends. It became obvious that she was jealous, but I liked him, so we just ignored it and kept dating. So now, a few years later, Tim and I live together and we've been talking about marriage and stuff, and I recently had a conversation with my mom about how I thought Tim was going to propose because he is not exactly subtle, and we have talked about this for a while. At which point then Sarah, who just moved back in with our parents, walked in. She started asking a bunch of invasive questions about our relationship and being weird. Sarah is 4 months pregnant. The father, she said, was some deadbeat guy she had hooked up with who wants nothing to do with her, but she wants to keep the baby. I had been making an effort taking her to appointments and offering to help babysit and trying to be excited for her, until a week ago when my stepdad sent me a long text saying how I cannot marry Tim because he is the real father of Sarah's baby. I was immediately very upset and confronted Tim, who was completely shocked and said Sarah was lying. He said there is no way and he didn't cheat on me and he would gladly have a paternity test to prove that. Unsure, I asked Sarah for more details about when they slept together, which she says happened a few times. She was shaky and went back and forth on details. The dates and times didn't match up with what I can remember of what Tim and I have been doing. She also said she came to our house to see him, but since the pandemic I've been working from home. So I cannot imagine that they managed that. I'm pretty sure now that she is lying to get us to break up because she is still jealous. However, now my family is involved and they have been sending me hateful messages saying that I need to break up with Tim and let him be with Sarah. She is telling everyone he is in love with her and I am keeping him from her. She has no proof and he strictly denied everything. I texted her asking for proof of any of this happening and she sent me some fake photoshopped screenshots that I can tell are fake. In these screenshots she has put Tim's name over a friend's number and pretended he was messaging her. I checked and the friend all but admitted it to me and tried to laugh it off. She badly photoshopped the timestamps as well. I actually don't know what to do now. I believe Tim and we are still together, but this has kind of thrown a wedge into everything. Sarah has poisoned my relationship with our parents and my family. I feel sick to my stomach and Sarah is now saying she won't give me a paternity test. For now, I have cut everyone off except Tim, but I don't know what to do now. And a user in the comments said, tell her paternity test or shut the hell up. Tell the whole family that they are cut off if she doesn't have the paternity test. They are taking her side without proof. And another user in the comments said, since she is denying a paternity test, I would get a lawyer involved. Tell them a woman is claiming he's the father, but won't allow the test. I'm sure a lawyer could get this settled. And if your parents still believe her after she denies the test, I would say cut your losses, cut them out and move on. Move away somewhere cool and live your best life. And guys, I would love to hear your opinion about this story. Please let us know what you think in the comments. The next one is an update to the "my stepsister told my family my boyfriend got her pregnant" story. I had kind of forgotten about this post because life has been so hectic, but baby was born yesterday and reminded me of this. A few people have been asking for updates, so here we go. I spoke to my parents. Tim offered to do a paternity test. We gave them an ultimatum to believe me or have me out of their lives. Initially my parents backed Sarah, mostly because she was pregnant and had nobody else. The deadbeat guy who knocked Sarah up reached out to me privately because he'd been sure that he fathered Sarah's baby, as they had been hooking up at the time and he wasn't sure what was going on. Sarah told him she was having the pregnancy terminated apparently. Deadbeat dude reached out to my parents and said he wanted to fully support the child and Sarah. Turns out he's a plumber with a very good income and wants to be a dad to his kid. But he doesn't want to be with Sarah at all. Sarah still won't admit to lying about the affair, but after realizing people were not falling for it, she switched to faking a mental illness to cover for her deception. I do believe she is mentally unwell, just not in the way she tells it. I have also figured out what a master manipulator she is. She fed my parents tidbits and small lies to make her giant lie seem more credible, tried to slowly turn them against me so they more easily believed Tim was in love with Sarah. Things are still strained with my family, but I feel like I am making progress and Sarah has moved on to getting attention for being pregnant/sick, so she's not obsessing over Tim anymore. Though I still refuse to be around her. Baby was born today. I pray for that little guy. It is going to be a long and difficult life with that mother. My cousin went to visit and sent me a photo of the birth certificate. Father is listed as deadbeat guy. And finally, Tim did propose, but we are planning a long engagement. Sarah is not invited to the wedding. The next one is titled, "My wife tried to hide my daughter from me. Am I wrong to feel this angry?" My wife and I are married together and have 3 kids, 11, 8 and 3. When I was in my 20s, I donated sperm as there is a massive shortage in my country. I literally donated after reading about this shortage in the newspaper. I've always been upfront about this fact with my wife, always, and she has always said she's okay with it. Fast forward to yesterday, I answer the phone to a girl that immediately starts nervously apologizing for calling me, but that she had to speak with me personally. Obviously, I have no idea what the F is going on, so I ask her to explain what she is talking about. Turns out this girl is my daughter. I understand it is wrong to call her my daughter when I didn't raise her, but for lack of a better word, and just turned 18. After turning 18, she got access to my contact details as required under my country's law regarding sperm donors. She called my house last week to talk to me and my wife picked up. Apparently my wife told her that I wanted nothing to do with her and that she should never call this number again before hanging up. Honestly, broke my heart to hear that the woman I loved could be so heartless. So for the last week, this poor girl has been crying her eyes out trying to work up the courage to call again, and thankfully she did so when I was home. I tried to keep my calm while on the phone and reassure her that I didn't say any of that. We organized a place/time to meet, and as soon as my wife got home later that night, I blew up at her. Honestly, I've never yelled at anyone as long as I can remember, but I couldn't hold it in. Am I wrong to think that that is so severely screwed up of my wife to do? I honestly cannot comprehend how she could say that. I'm not thinking straight and need some advice on how to deal with this. And a user in the comments said, your wife should have told you and then talk seriously about maybe that she wanted you not to reach out. Ultimately, she should have left the decision with you, and telling the poor girl you wanted nothing to do with her was very cruel. And yeah, Ripe Stars, I would love to hear what you think about this story. How do you feel about OP's wife? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is an update to the previous story. If you're a woman and you are going to say it is understandable what my wife did, then consider how you would feel if you put a kid up for adoption when you were young, that kid tried to reach out when they turned 18, and then your husband told them you wanted nothing to do with them without ever telling you that they tried to reach out. It's not understandable. Wife texted me yesterday and said we needed to talk while I was at work. This was the first time either of us had spoken or messaged each other since the fight. I dropped our kids off at my parents' house so we could be alone and went straight home. I'm not sure exactly what I was expecting her to say, but I genuinely hoped she would at least apologize first and foremost. Because in my opinion, she severely betrayed my trust by not only denying my agency, but also lying to me about it, and then downplaying the entire ordeal. When I get home and we sit down to talk, the first thing she says is that she forbids me from seeing this young woman, not an apology. An ultimatum that if I went and saw her, she would kick me out of the house, which is laughable considering I owned the house before marrying her. I asked her if she was serious, if she isn't even going to apologize, etc., and she reaffirmed she has nothing to apologize for. Yeah, okay, at this point I remembered someone's comment in that post about how she might have done this before. I asked her if she has ever done anything like this previously, and she said no. I kept pushing her and she kept saying no. Finally, I told her that I had already called the fertility clinic to reach out to any parents and explain what my wife had done in case they had tried to contact me previously. Not sure what has come of that yet. I explained that if I find out she has and she doesn't come clean now, I am divorcing her immediately. She immediately changed her tune and says she has only done it one other time, only. That only infuriated me even though it is just a damn word. Anyway, turns out another girl called a couple years back after she turned 18 too. Her parents are lesbians and so she just wanted to meet her biological father, since she does not have a father of her own, according to my wife, so take it with a grain of salt at this point. I tend to believe what she is saying, as the original girl also has lesbian parents and wanted to meet me for the same reason. She wouldn't say exactly what she said to this young woman, but she did say she made sure she would stay away from our family. I mean, at least my wife was finally honest with me, but Jesus Christ, what a heartless thing to do. I feel like I don't even know my wife. The woman I thought I married had some empathy. She still has not apologized and goes back to forbidding me from seeing this young woman. I explained she no longer has a say in the matter. Had she explained her concerns to me like an adult, I would have listened to them and taken them seriously, but by trying to deny me having any choice in the matter, and for being needlessly cruel to these girls, she doesn't get a say in this anymore. I told her she has 7 days to give me a genuine apology and agree to marriage counseling, or I would call a divorce lawyer. I also reaffirmed she doesn't get a say in whether I meet with this girl or not, but I would consider her feelings if any future kids reach out and she doesn't lie about it. A few hours later she apologized. I say apologized in quotes because it was clearly not genuine, but whatever. It is at least an admission of guilt, so we are going to marriage counseling and try to work through this. To be honest though, I don't think I will ever see her the same way again, so I have doubts our marriage will last. And sadly, Ripe Stars, we have already reached the end of the video. However, as usual, if you cannot get enough of my videos, I would suggest you to check out my endless binge watch playlist, which will show up very soon on the left side of the screen. In addition, please don't forget to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/ripeyoutube for more exclusive Reddit content. Mainly, at least at the moment, just no mother-in-law videos. In addition, guys, I would just like to say we are super close to 50,000 subscribers, so I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel. It would be a dream come true to finally reach 50k. Thank you so much in advance, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.